Okay, everybody, welcome to today's topic. Today we're talking about preparing to publish. What do I need for publishing my self-published book? We have looked at, last week we looked at where to publish. This week it's, it's all about what we need to get rolling on this, on the actually getting it published and getting a copy of it into our hands. So what do I need to get started? Well, first thing, you need a completed manuscript. We have more information about creating your manuscript in related courses. So I'm not going to go into that this week. Cover. There's more information about creating your cover in related courses. The metadata, again, there's more information about that in a related course. And front matter, we'll be talking about in this this course. And then there's back matter. The information of what it is and how to do it is, and why you need it is in this course as well. So what is front matter? What is front matter and why do we need it? Okay, in this section of the book, when you're looking at your book, this section appears before the main body text. It's also called the prelims or preliminary matter, and is standard in both traditional and self-publishing published books. Okay, what's the purpose and why is it important? Well, first of all, it provides an essential information such as the author's name, publisher, copyright notice, the ISBN, and publication date. It helps the readers navigate through the book, often via a table of content. Usually this would be more for nonfiction, but sometimes they have it in fiction books too. This front matter sets the tone and context for the reader, whether through a dedication, epigraph, or introduction. So it kind of introduces you to the author a little bit, but not too much. You don't want to get too much author and not enough story, if you know what I mean. Okay, so common components of the front matter is you have the half title page, which is often just the main title and sometimes the author's name. You have the title page, which is the full title, subtitle, author's name, publisher information, and sometimes the ISBN is on there as well. There's also the copyright page. It's got the legal and the publishing details on it. This page is often also called the verso because it is on the back of the title page. Thing to remember about verso pages is they're the back side and they're evenly numbered. And the other pages, the even numbered pages, are called recto pages, and they're the front side. Usually chapters, when you have a chapter, those chapters are on the recto rather than the verso side. There's also a dedication. You may have a dedication if because you want a personal note to somebody special. A lot of times it could be a person who's deceased or just somebody who helped out a lot with the project, or just somebody you just love, you know. And then an epigraph. An epigraph is a quotation that sets the theme. A lot of books use them different. It can be used in both fiction and in nonfiction. So Here are some other common elements. There's the table of contents, which again lists the chapters or sections. There's a foreword, which is written by somebody else other than the author. So remember that, and which is different from the preface, where the author's own introduction explains the book's origin. There's acknowledgments. Thanks for people who helped writing the book. Now, acknowledgments often are in the front, but they can also be back in the back matter as well, which we'll discuss that later. The prologue is in fiction, sets the stage before the main story begins. And then, of course, in nonfiction, an introduction, it outlines the book's purpose and structure. And the writer again might tell a story about how they got started in writing the book and why they're writing it and things like that. So we were talking about the verso page. Well, there's a title verso page, which is the most important legal aspect of your whole book. Without it, you would be basically without a copyright, and it would be considered under public domain if you haven't got it copyrighted. There's a copyright statement attributed to the author's rights. There's the date of publication. There's the ISBN number, which we'll go into more in detail later. There's the publisher's details, the editor's details, if applicable. Sometimes the editor will be on there if they insist. Any disclaimers, such as fiction disclaimer, like the all persons fictitious statement, where it clarifies that your book is fiction and not based on actual people. You have a cover design details or cover photo credit. And then finally, there's a statement of National Library deposit. If you used it and registered an ISBN, then this legal requirement will send catalog copies of your books to various libraries outlined when you purchase your ISBN. So, where do you get these ISBNs? Well, this is kind of important, really. You get your ISBN, you can purchase them, and in the United States, you purchase them through a company called Bowkers. Okay, but if you don't live in the United States, you'll find this information for your country through the International ISBN Agency website. However, you don't always have to pay for them. You can get them free. However, there's some caveats to that. Okay, there's a number of different companies who give out free ISBNs. There's Amazon, Draft to Digital, Blurb, BookBaby, Smashwords, Ingram Spark. They all offer free ISBN for books printed through their platforms, but the ISBN lists them as a publisher and not you, and this ISBN can only be used on their platform. So you can't say you had it on Amazon, but you wanted to put it on Barnes & Noble too. Well, you wouldn't be able to put it on Barnes & Noble because Amazon owns it. So you'd have to either get one through Barnes & Noble, I don't know if they have it or not, or you'd have to buy one to go on it. So you can change who the publisher is if you've already published a book through like Amazon or whatever. You'll just have to get your own ISBN and do it that way, and maybe change a couple things on it, but it's still your book. Additional advice concerning ISBNs. is that if you plan to release multiple formats, for instance, if you want to write an ebook, paperback, hardcover, or audiobook, purchase a block of ISBNs to save costs and maintain consistency. Last time I bought ISBNs, I bought 10 of them at a time, and they're not that expensive. Okay, before we go into the main content, I wanted to add that it's a good idea to look at books in your genre, like go to the library and say, if you write science fiction, say, you look at other science fiction books and see what they've got, what their front matter looks like, and kind of emulate those. Okay. So let's go on from there. Okay. So your main manuscript content. This is pretty easy. You set your margins at 1 inch on all 4 sides of your manuscript. This usually is already default in Word, but double check on your computer to make sure. You always want to align your text to the left. When you're doing print, you always want to use Times Roman font at 12 points. But use a sans serif if you're doing it for ebooks, but we'll go more into ebooks later. Okay. Always use black text on white background. Don't get creative with the colors. Indent each paragraph by 1/2 inch if that's what you want to do. Normally, I don't even bother with indentation anymore. I just between paragraphs, because I'm doing it online and I'm not. I just do double space between each paragraph and leave it at that, and I don't even bother. Okay, don't double space lines within the paragraphs. Okay, so it makes it so much harder to read. Now, back in the day when we had to type it all out, you double spaced for the editors, but we don't have to do that anymore. So anyway, so just don't even bother with the double space at this point. And especially if you're going to be publishing it, don't. Create a header at the top of the top right corner. Use a page number, an optional book or chapter title. You can add heading pages automatically. It's really easy. And always begin chapters on new pages. And again, put it on the recto page, not on the verso page. Make sure that you get it on an odd numbered page, not an even numbered page, so that when you're looking at the book, it comes on the front and not the back. Okay, so now we've got the front matter done and we've got the main text in place. Oh, I forgot to mention chapters. Chapters, when you set them up, use, what is it? Oh, what do you call it? Start each one on a new page on your go up to, I don't remember what it's at. But anyway, always start it on a new page. I think that's already been said, but anyway. Sections and elements of a book appear at the end of the book are called back matter. And after the main text chapters have concluded. So after your story's over, this is all the stuff that's in the back. It's a catch-all for supplemental, text, contextual, or promotional material that helps support the reader's experience. It helps the author connect with the reader. A lot of times, this is a good place to put in the author's bio is at the end in the back matter here. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, the purpose of it, again, back matter is optional, but it's very common in both fiction and nonfiction. It's used to provide additional context, like glossaries, index, bibliographies, excuse me. It's support materials like appendixes and endnotes. It gives personal or professional information like author bio and acknowledgments. And it's a good place to put in some marketing information, like connection, your website connections and things like that. You could also put in your also by page where you write down, where you show what books you already have out, and provide contact information that's appropriate to the book. You don't want to put down your physical address or something like that. When you're talking about contact information, we're talking about like an email or maybe your website or whatever, so that they can contact you if they want to. Okay, so common back matter sections include an appendix and addendum, endnotes, bibliography of references, index, glossary, chronology. If you have a timeline of historical events that you are keeping track of, you might want to show that there in the back matter there. One of the things I do in my books is I'll have separating fact from fiction, a section called that, because every time I was writing a book, somebody would say, well, that didn't happen that way. And it's like, well, you know what? According to what I read here, yes, it does. Yes, it did happen that way. A lot of times, you have different people have different section or different viewpoints. And, like, anyway. So you gotta, I did that so people would stop saying it, disagreeing with me. And you also could put in a list of contributors, credits for research, for editing, or design help. Okay. That you can also put in an epilogue at the end of your book. In the current book I'm working on right now, I have an epilogue. You might put an afterword, the author's reflection, or an update after the main text. Like, anyway, let's say you wrote a nonfiction book and you're adding on to it, adding more information, you might put an afterword in there. Resource list, recommended reading, an excerpt from the next book, discussion questions, like for a classroom or group reading, contact information, permissions, and a colophon, which is the publisher's imprint or design details. Okay, now order and placement, how are you going to put it in? There's no single fixed order, but in the course, I'm going to have a picture of order placement in there. Okay, so I'm not going to go into that here. You have to look at the course when it comes out. Okay, so why is the back matter important? It's, again, it enhances the reader experience. It provides credibility and serves as a marketing tool to encourage further engagement with the author or related works. Even if you omit some sections, having a well-organized back matter can make your book feel more professional. Again, when you're deciding what you want to put in your back matter, take a look at the genre that you're writing and that you write in. Go to the library, pick out a book, look at the back matter, see what they've got in there, and kind of emulate what they've done. I've done that for a long time. Just looked at how books are set up, and it helps. So ebooks have some special considerations. Ebooks need to be formatted for reflowability rather than a fixed layout. The text needs to be able to adjust to screen size, font, margins that the reader chooses, so you don't design fixed page layouts like with print books. Print books have fixed margins, fonts, spacings for a printer, not for the reader. Okay, when you format your ebook, it's a little different from the print book that we mentioned earlier. Use consistent paragraph style. Use like heading 1 for chapter titles so that the table of contents works. Set first line indent if you choose, and single space spacing. Remove extra paragraph spacings. Insert actual page breaks after chapters, and don't just enter repeats. Okay. Avoid tabs, complex tables, multi-column layouts, and page numbers. Just take out any page numbers because your book's not going to follow that at all. When they change from 12 to 20 font size, and it's not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same page, and the page numbers are just going to make it look bad. Keep fonts simple. With just keep it all on like 12 points, and always use the sans serif when you're doing ebooks. However, readers will choose their own if they want to. Use ebook EPUB format. Mobley's Legacy PDF is not recommended for reflowable ebooks. Okay, so I was continuing the formatting ebooks. Front matter and back matter, you want to include the title page, copyright, dedication, and about author if desired. Images and media, use inline images in a reflowable format, like use a JPG. Avoid PDFs for images. Save your file as a docx for Word. Kindle Create can help with image placement. Again, there's when you're doing an ebook, don't keep your what do they call that? Your pictures and your words separate, unless the words are part of that picture. Okay, don't try to do any fancy word wraparounds. Okay, because it'll just mess up the book. Okay, so common ebook mistakes to avoid: using tabs instead of paragraph styles in an ebook, inserting too many hard page breaks makes it too clunky for the reader. Don't include page numbers. Avoid complex layouts or fonts. And the bottom line is focus on reader-friendly, reflowable text with consistent styles, proper chapter breaks, and minimal design complexity. Okay, so we've got the back matter. No, sorry. We've got the front matter. We got the book back matter. We got the main text. We got everything. We've got our manuscript. We've got, go back up here. You should have your cover, your metadata, and everything should be ready for going to your publisher. So any questions about this at all? Anybody have any questions? Do you have any related stories that you'd like to tell? about what's happened. Okay, so if you're listening to this elsewhere other than live, please put any questions or comments or related stories down in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And thank you so much for joining us.